Well, welcome to this Thursday's webinar. For those that attended last week or watched it, I was solo, but we have Dave back today. We're going to be talking a little bit about social media today, but before we get into that, I think we have something interesting with a tweet or a Twitter tweet, whatever you want to call it, that had come about recently.
Yeah, knowing that we're talking about social media, it reminded me of this tweet that I saw, and actually one of our company's core values is positive attitude, and I was running it through that filter. Does that really have a positive sound? But we'll just say it's a funny one. So here it is. It really got me smiling in kind of a crooked smile kind of a way. Saw someone tweet, says, "Why are we turning our clocks back on November 1st? Who really wants one more hour of 2020?"
I think a lot of us might agree with that.
Yeah, so I hope all of you that are out there in webinar land are having as good a 2020 as possible. I know this is just such a wacky, crazy year, so I think we can all all commiserate with that tweet. So
I would agree, Dave.
so if any of you have a rim shot and want to add the sound effect, you can go ahead and just send in that note via the chat or the questions panel there. And the reason I'm saying that is as we go, we do invite your feedback. And there it is, the kaboom chung. I see it. Thank you, Christine. So we got it. We got the rim shot in the questions panel here. So as we go along through the webinar, if you do have feedback, questions, comments, go ahead and use that exact tool, and we'll answer as much as we can on the fly and as well as afterwards. But enough about the preliminaries. Trish, take us the rest of the way.
All right. So last week I had mentioned we had a pretty good hefty update regarding our website and some updates and some things that we have changed. So today we're going to be going over the My website settings tab. And before I get in there though, view weekly website tutorials. If we click on that, this is a list of all of our previous webinars. We put them up here once we're done here, usually the same day. So just to let you know, if you happen to miss one in the past, they are located on this page here. Again, that's in your control center right above the help center. So we have gone over the website builder, we've gone over workflow, we've gone over web pages. So as you could probably assume, we're going to jump over to the middle. Doesn't mean we're halfway though. My website tab. And on the left here under website settings, we're going to go over probably as many tabs as the next 15 minutes or so allows us, maybe less depending on. But company name here. Oh, and I also might mention that if you change any of these here and they're available in the website builder, they will be changed there. Similarly, if you happen to be in the website builder and you change these tabs there, it will be reflected under this website settings tab. So you do not have to duplicate your efforts.
Right, that's good to call out. Yeah, same data, just two different lenses to look at.
Usually the website builder, you might initially go in there and set some things up as a one and done. But of course, if you come in here, our first tab is the company name. You probably wouldn't need to change this unless you change, rebrand, whatever the case is. So mine simply says Tank and Nemo's Print Shop. There's a couple places that's located in there. It's not necessarily going to be prominent out there, but technical speaking, we have it down here in the bottom in the footer. Tank and Nemo's Print Shop, of course, with our copyright or your copyright. So it is available and will show up in different parts of your website. But of course, when people go there, we want to make sure that they get to the information that they need and that they need to access. But your company name is found in various places on your website.
We'll have to hear the story of Tank and Nemo someday too.
Yeah, we'll just say those are animals. All right. Next tab is the address and map. And I'll be showing you quite a few of these will show up on the Contact Us tab. And I'll show you that in a minute. But verify your address, nice little Google map shows up. Again, this probably won't change unless you move, which some people do. So mine, I just have filled in our company address here in Fargo. So you can fill in as much or as little that you want here, or some people might not have an address and that's fine too, or you don't want to have your address on your website. You do not have to fill this out. That is an option to you.
Hey, just some random piece of trivia here, just because I'm really good at random trivia. Is that
yes, you are.
Trish, can you drag that to the right a little bit? I don't know if it is, or the other direction.
My other right.
Right, yeah, right there. Yeah. So here's the random piece of trivia. If I'm ever talking to someone in town and they need to come down to our office, you see that top line for 52nd Avenue, and then the north-south one is University Drive. and I'm looking right out my window at it right now. That is literally, very literally, the last stoplight out of town. So there's my man.
Mm-hmm.
So I always tell people, just go south on University, just past the last stoplight out of town.
Yep, here it is, and there we are. So good point. I like that, and I remember that clearly. So, all right. So on to the next tab, store hours. Again, feel free to fill in as much or as little as you'd like. What are your days that you're open, your hours of operation? If you want to provide additional details, maybe you're only open half a day on Saturday, or maybe you want to say you're closed Saturdays and Sundays. We provide this additional field for you to fill in whatever you need to fill in regarding your store hours.
Yeah, I'll add in one there. One of the
Mm-hmm.
uses that I've seen sometimes is just to add in the words "or by appointment" or something to that effect.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a nice way to show online how you might be going that extra mile for people when they need an extra mile from you.
Yeah.
By
And
appointment is another thing you can add.
yep, and it does mention it real quick here. What Dave said, you could put evenings and weekends by appointment, but that'll allow you to let your print buyers know you are available 24/7 if you want to be. Next tab here is phone numbers. You can decide in what order you want your phone numbers to be shown or labeled. So I had local, but you could call it phone. You could have your fax a first phone number. You have a toll-free. Of course, I have our toll-free number as the second number here. Or if you want to put a personal cell phone, you may do that. We allow you up to 3 phone numbers here in this location. And then if you want to put in an after-hours hotline and it happens to differ from any of the phone numbers at the top, you may do that, and that will also show up on the Contact Us page and other areas of key spots on your website. So after-hours hotline is also an option. The Contact Us email, this is when they go to your Contact Us form. So maybe you're wondering, Trish, I know you showed me some of these things. Well, where are these located? On my website, there is a contact tab. Again, those 2 phone numbers I labeled local and toll-free show up here. If I click email this location, this does not show, which is good, an email to the masses out there. If I was to submit this email, it's going to go to this email that you have filled in the Contact Us email tab. So this is related to when someone submits this form. This form is found under the Contact tab as well. If you go to the footer of your website, there's an email this location as well. This will also send you an email to this website that's in the Contact Us email tab.
And that one doesn't happen often, but it is obviously one loose end we don't want to remain loose for you there. So if someone does use those email tools, you'll get that email. Most of the emails that you're going to be getting from your website are going to be being generated from the use of doing business on the website through the order forms. So you're already covered with that email communication. This is just kind of that catch-all to make sure that if someone just randomly contacts you, it's got a place to go.
Thank you, Dave, for explaining that. And then we had gone over hours in a map. So you can click more. Now I happen to have 2 locations, but if you click more contact info, there is the map that we had shown shows up here. Here's the address I had filled out. Here again are those phone numbers. Again, on this page, if someone clicks email us, there's the pop-up. And then on the right-hand side, there is the hours of operation. And I do have looks like an after-hours emergency number there. Continuing on, social media. So recently, in the past maybe 6 weeks, maybe less, we have added Instagram. So I do have a Twitter account, which I don't use too much, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then a link to a blog. I just filled some of these in, it might be most of them with our company one, but just to give you a feel for how this looks when they're all filled out. Again, if we go to my website, if you click the Contact Us dropdown, there is a tab, for an icon, I should say, for each of those social media icons. And if you select any of these, you're routed to that appropriate social media link. But also, drilling into this contact page, here's those nifty little icons that you can see if you want to click on those as well. So a couple locations that those show up. You can also decide if you want to showcase your social media links, maybe in a custom call-out box, maybe a custom slider. Again, there's other ways that we have covered before that you can showcase pretty much whatever you want on your website. But right away, we do provide social media under the contact tab and when you drill into the contact tab. All right, moving on, we have what's called an Amazon Associates ID. Probably not too many know about it. I know Dave has a little bit more information.
Yeah,
Dave?
this brings back one of my favorite things to talk about from way back when. We've been building websites since 2001. Yeah, boy, have to start doing math in decades again here. And this is one of the very original pieces, and it's always been a fun one for me because, first of all, you don't have to fill this in, but if you do, what happens is this shows up in the ideas collection. And Trish, do you have one of those queued up here?
Yep. And just to let people know that the ideas collection is under your resources tab. And depending on the order you put this, there's the ideas collection. So here we go. And what I'm going to do is just pick one in marketing, and we'll do the top one here.
So every one of these ideas is based on a book or references a book that someone can purchase on Amazon. And that's way at the bottom here. And so your website can pop that open. And here's what happens. So if you hover over that link there, and if you look at the bottom left of Trisha's screen, she can't mouse there because then it would disappear. But if you look at the very bottom left, you'll see the address for that. And at the end, it says ExpressPress-20 in the website address on the bottom. That is the Amazon Associates ID. And the setting in the control center, you want to go back there, Trish, is if you are set up with Amazon as an Amazon Associates, you can add your ID number right here, and then it's going to be your link that shows up with those books. Not a super huge deal, but it's just kind of a nice thing because you get a little extra spiff anytime someone buys a book as a result of visiting the idea on your website. And you're not going to build a retirement fund on it, but it'll get you a cup of coffee every so often, perhaps. And we'd encourage you just to fill that out. Well, I'd almost encourage you to fill that out because if you don't, then it goes over to our Amazon ID, which is that ExpressPress-20. We're not trying to be sneaky at all, but we also know that if someone does click that link and make that purchase, someone should be getting paid for it. We want you to be first in line for that, but if you're not, we're more than happy to be second in line, so it does default to us. The reason I'm saying that is it really does give us the evidence that says people visit this ideas collection area and they will click on that, and we do see that evidence because we do get that commission for the websites of people that haven't put in their Amazon ID. So it's a good idea for this little bit of effort that it takes to do that. Plug in your ID. You can check in with Amazon on how to best do that. But anyway, that's my short story made long. It's always just kind of one of those fun ones so that you know where that comes from.
Yeah, Dave, I'm glad you expanded on it a little bit more because quite frankly, I'm not sure how many people knew about it or really paid attention to it. So if you get anything out of this, this would be a really good part of the webinar to listen to. Of course, all the rest.
Right.
All right, so I don't know, based on our time, I know we've got a couple tabs here, but a couple of them we really want to spend some more time on, or at least let you know that you can dive deeper. So Dave, I'm kind of inclined to call it a day.
I'll follow your lead.
All right.
You got the switch on your side, so
yep. All right, well, appreciate those that are in attendance, and don't forget that nice little survey at the end to rate us. We'd appreciate that. And other than that, I think we're going to call it a day, and then we will see you back here next Thursday. And as far as I can see, we're going to be right back into my website settings. And again, we'll see what we can get through. So with that, take care.